Hey, and what's the crack? In this video, I was made an offer I couldn't refuse. Getting the platinum trophy for Mafia. So if you stick around, I will show you how I took on the Don and won. There will be some spoilers in this game. So let's start this game off with the cabbie driver turned wise man, Tommy Angelo, where he is spilling his soul to Irish McIrish the cop. And we'll also get to meet his best buddies, Sam and Polly. A chase throughout the night was the first trophy I managed to get my hands on, which you get for escorting Polly and Sam away from all the bad guys. I would hate to see the meter during this ride. The back streets of Little Italy was the next trophy I managed to claim, and I secured this trophy by doing my best Usain Bolt and sprinting away from two mobsters, which led me back to Sam and Polly. And after meeting Sam and Polly, they decided to introduce me to the Don. Wouldn't be much of a Mafia game if they didn't have one, would it? But the Don's name is Salieri, and he lets us prove our worth, which leads to my next trophy, the way this city works. And I claimed this trophy by going roughing up the other mobsters' cars. I sure showed them. And after this, we do get inducted into the mob, and we also get to go make collections. And I'm fairly sure this old lady cursed me. I mean, like, look at them eyes. Curse or no curse, it didn't stop me from collecting the next trophy, Comic Violence. And I got this for picking up my first comic book in the game. It's mad that even gangsters like comic books. You can tell this guy reads too many comic books because he's trying to square up to Tommy as Tommy's holding a gun to his head. Let's move on to the next trophy I picked up, called Gangs of Lost Haven. And I got this trophy for completing a shootout and showing off some high skills from Tommy with his gun. I mean, no wonder they took him on and thought he was great. Look what he can do. We are coming up to one of the most notorious trophies in this game, but first we have to destroy one of the vehicles for a race, because who likes a fair race? And now for probably the most notorious trophy, Supercharged. And the reason I say it's notorious is because nearly everyone knows this race is absolute dog shit. But I will say this, don't hold down the brake button, just kind of tap it. It's way better. And very soon after, I gained another trophy called Neighborhood Hero. And I got this because after I completed the race, I had to bring my good friend Polly home. He did ask to go somewhere else, but I wasn't paying any heed to him, and I should have. I'll mention why a bit later on. And it's not just in the race where the driving is bad, it's the cars in general. They drive like shopping carts, but it sure didn't affect the next trophy I got. Good night for a walk anyways. And how I claimed this trophy was by defending a lady's honour and beating up a bunch of scumbags. I too end up chasing down more scumbags with the help of Polly. And does every member in this mafia just have special talent? I'd say this fella's a little bit too excited to do this. While on this mission, I got another trophy called Pulp Fiction, which of course was got for picking up a pulp magazine. And another collectible trophy I picked up on the same mission, Family History, and this is for picking up one of the gangsters' cigarette cards. The cigarette cards you pick up are actually quite cool because they're all Mafia characters throughout the 3 games. And it seems this guy's never heard the saying, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Storm Cloud over Chinatown was the next trophy I managed to get my hands on. And how I got my hands on that trophy was by chasing down a bunch of bad guys and taking them out. Onto a new part of the mission where I have to take out the manager of a hotel, and this has to be the coldest moment in the game. The next trophy I managed to secure was called Murder in the House of God, and this is just like the trophy says, you commit murder in the house of God. I think unaliving a few people in a church is the least of these guys' problems. And if anything's going to make you commit murder in this real life, it's the length of these loading screens. My god. The trophy I came by next was called Your Canute Cousins, and you get this for getting into a shootout and defending Sam while he's being shot at. And this is after finding out that your connection to alcohol has been unalived. This is where the Don tells us he shot a dog for the dumbest reason. So in my eyes, he is unredeemable. Rat in the House was the next trophy I received. And I got this for sneaking around an airport and making sure our old friend got away clean. I was going to say in this part, like, how can he not speak Italian? But then I realized I'm Irish and I can't speak Irish. The next trophy I earned was Blood on Beach Hill. And how I came into that trophy was by robbing a house of a man trying to blackmail the family. The Best Laid Plans trophy was the next one I acquired. And how I obtained this trophy was by getting into a massive shootout while trying to secure alcohol. Imagine going through all that trouble just to find out a couple of years later it was all for nothing. The day the war began was the next trophy that I managed to get in my possession. And this came into my possession by fighting my way out of a restaurant that has been attacked by the other Don's men. I gotta say as well, the lengths these lads are willing to go through just to clip someone is absolutely insane. It's like a cartoon, but this plan does lead into my next trophy, Death on the Water. And how I came into this trophy was by getting on a boat and taking out a politician. I mean, if you don't think this game's like a cartoon, just look at this. All he's missing is that Wilhelm scream. When God Stopped Smiling was the next trophy I managed to claim, and this was got for chasing down the other mob's Don's lucky brother. He wasn't so lucky by the end of it. The Day the War Ended was the next trophy I got, and this was for taking out the other mob's Don. Looks like the Don and his brother weren't too lucky at all. Wouldn't be much of a Mafia game if they didn't include a prison somewhere in the game. But moving on to the next trophy, Heat from the Cops. And you get this from hiding out from the cops while having a 5-star wanted level. And the reason I had a 5-star wanted level is for the next trophy, A View from the Top. And this is for taking out another politician from the top of a prison. And I also did learn that you don't have to run out of this prison and escape the cops. You can just go back inside the prison and hide out for a minute, and they eventually just leave you alone. There's something very funny about a mafioso pulling up on a cop bike outside his house. Into the Lines then was the next trophy I came across. And this was for going with Sam and Polly to find the Don's cigars and also the surprises he had hidden in them. The next trophy that I managed to come into was called The Last Big Score. And how I did come into this trophy was by helping Polly out with a small job of robbing a bank. The next trophy I received was called Quite the Collection. And I got this for adding 15 vehicles to my garage. And it's quite simple to get it. All you have to do is sit in any 15 vehicles. Made Man was the next trophy I got, and it's for completing the game on classic difficulty. But it's not the only trophy I got here. I also got a trophy called Friends and Family, which unlocked because I completed the last chapter of this game. And then a third trophy popped, and it was called A Life of Crime, which I got for completing the game on any difficulty, easy, medium, or hard. I had to go back to the mission where I have to drop Polly home to get that trophy I was on about earlier called Not Classy. And you get this for bringing Polly not home, but to a club. And then I went on to the collection trophies, starting with this first one, Lending Library. And I got this for collecting all the comics in the game. And those magazines are Dime Detective, one of the cooler names called Black Mask, a comic named Super Science, and then finally Tales of Terror. The next collection trophy was called Full Set, and I got this for finding all the cigarette cards of the gangsters. Could you imagine how weird it would be to find a card that you've no knowledge of with your picture on it? The next trophy that popped for me was called Picture Book Connoisseur, and this was for collecting more comic books, but this time they were gangster comic books. Who in the name of God put this comic book up here and expected people to find it? And then for the final collection trophy, I got The Whole Story. And I got this for, like I said, collecting everything in the game, which consists of the comic books, the cigarette cards, and the gangster monthlies. It sounds like a really bad boy band name. I then went and got the trophy, Mysterious Fox Discovered. And I got this for picking up a mystery fox, which are scattered throughout the story mode and the free play mode. Collecting these foxes wasn't that big of a deal, except for this one. This one was weird. But after about 100 attempts, I picked it up, along with the rest of them, to give me the trophy, Mysterious Fox Domination. And it's like I said, for collecting all 50 of the mysterious foxes. So on to the next trophy, and it was called On the Trail. And I got this for discovering a hidden car. I may have discovered this car, but I could not discover a way to get it out. I then went on to get the trophy, Car Thief Number 1. And I acquired this by discovering all the hidden cars. These hidden cars that I discovered, some of them were actually quite cool. I was expecting them just to all be the same. And I wasn't done with the collecting car trophies just yet. Getting my next one called Motor Museum, which I got for collecting 30 vehicles for Tommy's garage. To collect some of these vehicles as well, there's like secret missions, and they're quite fun, except for this one. This one was just weird. And I was still with the car trophies, getting my next one called Car Enthusiast, which you get for lockpicking 5 cars throughout the game, which is something I forgot you could do throughout this whole game. I then went and got a slightly different trophy, and it was named Lined Pockets. And I got this for paying a fine on the spot from the Lost Haven Police Department. And I wasn't done messing with the police just yet, because I got my next trophy called Not Taken In. And I got this for not paying a fine, but just punching a police officer and resisting arrest. I think you can tell how well this went for me. I did try it another time, but it didn't end up going well that time either. I was then back to the car trophies once again with the next one, That Motor Can Move. And I gained this by going the super fast speed of 50 miles per hour in the Ace Bolt. And then for the last trophy just before the platinum, it was called Stunt Rider. And I gained this trophy by pulling a wheelie for 3 seconds, and it's actually harder than it looks. And then finally, I get to hear a sound that I love with the platinum trophy popping. This game was a lot of fun. And if you'd like to see me platinum any other game, including Mafia games, just let me know. And now I'll give this game a rating of 6 out of 10. All because of that one race on the hardest difficulty. Everything else in the game is fairly easy. Just be mindful to watch your ammo. And that means this is the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I also hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.